And welcome back to another week of Collegiate League of Legends here at Carthage College. We are going to be going into Game 2 as the NECC ruling has proclaimed Carthage Firebirds will be starting this match up 1-0 against the GFU Bruins.
What are you thinking the draft is going to be looking like for Firebirds here?
I mean, Firebirds, like I said last week, they did a really good job trying to get tanks and engage going in. We are already seeing a early Zeri ban from GFU and an early Hecarim ban on the sides of Firebirds. So we are going to see some interesting bans going forwards. You know, Zeri's a very hard scaler, and going into the late game can do a lot. You're going to see another hard scaler in Kale going down on GFU's side. We're going to see who the Firebirds are going to ban. We have seen a few of their bans going in. There's the Jin ban going down on Jax Greekin, as that is his one trick. Very interesting to see that go down.
Looks like the GFU is just trying to shut down the team fight of Firebirds here, locking down Kale and Zeri, both known for their scaling and teamfight potential.
We are going to see also that Vel'Koz ban, as Lux is the first pick on GFU Academy that is going to be taken away from POC 808, as Firo gets his insane Xayah pick, first pick. We're going to see just absolute shredding of Lux going in late game if she is not able to position correctly against that Xayah.
Only thing, they can flex that both mid and support. Don't quite know where the Lux is going yet. Picking up Fiddlesticks for the jungle. Another one of Pigarian's stronger champions. Definitely somebody he's more comfortable on. A lot of comfort picks early for Firebirds here.
100%. Unfortunately, we aren't, like you said there, we aren't going to know if Lux is going into the mid lane or into support here. That is going to be one of the stronger flex picks in the game, as they do come out and pick that Mordekaiser top lane. We did see that coming from Ginger Trable going out here. So we're gonna have to see how are the Firebirds going to be able to come back against this Mordekaiser. Who are they going to pick going into?
If I were drafting here, I'd be trying to look for a counter pick right away onto that Mordekaiser. Maybe an Ornn. See, we've seen we got NDXR Clyde here this time. Maybe a Garen even into this Mordekaiser. Pretty winning matchup, just win lane.
100%. We are looking at, so far, 2 comfort picks, as you said earlier, on the Xayah and Fiddlesticks, going in the bot lane and jungle, respectively. We are going to see also a Volibear pick down on GFU, another very strong pick, can be built several different ways, full AP. You can go with that Divine Sunderer build, which is still very viable in many situations, and that is another pick. That is a Zed mid. Don't know how to feel about the Zed pick going into a Mordekaiser and a Volibear.
Despite that, it feels like Firebirds are getting all of their champions here. They're not really targeting what their comfort is. It's looking pretty good for them so far. That being said, Volibear very, very good into Fiddlesticks, shuts down that early game very well.
We are also going to see a Zyra ban on the side of Firebirds, very oppressive bot lane. If they were to be able to get that, they are counting on the fact that Lux is going to be Lux mid, however, as they still do ban out another support in Zyra. As we do see a Darius ban going down on the side of GFU Academy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Mordekaiser really wants to win lane. They're trying to really shut down those early game champions, try to give that Mordekaiser an advantage just by to the rest of the game.
We are going to see also Mordekaiser being the anti-carry that he is. If Xayah does start getting a little bit ahead as a Nami ban comes out from GFU, you are going to see that practically Mordekaiser can just flash ult the Xayah if he really needs to, take him out of the team fight, and that would force Xayah to have to build QSS going into this game, trying to just get out of the death realm, be able to get Mordekaiser in a bad position, and hopefully get a 5-man collapse going on him in team fights.
Absolutely. They're just really trying to shut down the carries of this Firebirds team. Mordekaiser going to give that 1300 gold tax over to Xayah. One interesting thing about Xayah is how easily she can invade those dive compositions. Volibear, definitely an interesting pick into it, as Xayah very easily evades with that ult.
100%, and we are going to look at that now. The side of GFU Academy right now, 4 AP picks going in. Volibear kind of mixed, but the majority of the damage going to come out, and we are going to see that Ezreal pick trying to round out the comp. Very good mobility, very good. It's very safe pick down in the bot lane, as we do see a Cho'Gath top going in. That is their tank. Now we have to see, are they going to be able to get another engaged rather than that Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is a very hit or miss ultimate.
Absolutely.
If he cannot hit a good ultimate for an engage, there's not a whole lot that the Firebirds can do going in on it. Right now they do have some decent follow-up, however, if they are going to be able to get that good engage off the Fiddlesticks.
100%. Really, really good picks of the Anivia and Ezreal. Just ways to poke that Zaya out of the fight, get it out. And pretty much all of these picks, actually some fantastic peel. Obviously, Ezreal with the E just jumps out. Zed's going to be having some trouble here this game for sure.
100%. Zed is really going to only be able to go on the Anivia, Ezreal, and Lux, but you have to be careful because the Mordekaiser can just peel him off very easily.
100%.
Volibear, 100% with his Q stun. And we are going to also see that Lulu pick down in the support lane. Not 100% on how we're looking for Pac on that Lulu. Not a whole lot has been seen there. Lux, Ezreal going to be a very big poke lane. We are going to see, it's going to be very interesting, however,
absolutely.
to see how they're going to be able to adjust going into this game. Haven't really faced the team yet this season with this kind of tankiness going in. Are we going to be able to see the Mordekaiser and the Volibear scale up very quickly, trying to get Snowbally, trying to get that Zed out of the lead, out of the early game, mid game, without doing a whole lot? You are going to have to watch out for that Anivia. Is she going to be able to lock down the Zed just so he doesn't snowball as hard? That is going to be the same story for everybody on the Firebirds side. Very snowbally picks.
Absolutely.
Fiddlesticks. Mid game is ridiculous. Late game, Ultimate can do much. It can do a lot in team fights. Easily 3,000 damage if you can if you can land a full.
Absolutely
Fiddlesticks.
Fight winning. The Lulu pick on round 5, very interesting to me as they don't have a ton of dive picks, which is what Lulu is predominantly used for, to peel off those carries. Even with the Anivia poke and Ezreal poke, maybe something with a little more shield, maybe a Janna would have been a better pick.
That is going to be something that we're going to be looking at, is that they banned so many supports going in on the Firebird side on their second phase bans. They banned the Morgana out, they banned the Zyra out, trying to hopefully see that Lux mid lane. Just didn't work out. They wasted 2 bans going into the final phase of picks. Anivia just getting picked mid lane. That's kind of unfortunate that they weren't able to sniff that out going forward into that second phase of picks. But we are going to see if they are going to be able to adjust and try and win out that early game just so they can continue to snowball, continue to win team fights going in the late game.
100%. Surviving that early game is going to be important for both teams. As said, a ton of kill pressure on that Anivia early, very squishy champion. But with that being said, if Anivia gets out of laning phase, not a lot of deaths, it's going to get very tough for the Firebirds.
Anivia, a very big, I would say, I would go to say she is a AP hyperscaler.
Absolutely.
Her Q is just going to start doing an immense amount of damage. Her walls are going to be game changing if she can lock down certain area. Has great control pressure on objectives with that wall. But we are looking on GFU Academy. Great team fight. Mordekaiser going to be able to, like I said earlier, take away that carry. Volibear going to be able to just dive the back line, trying to get on that Zaya. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but once she blows ultimate, there's not a whole lot that she's going to be able to do besides just run and try and get those feathers down for roots.
Absolutely. Let's talk win conditions here. I see here on the Firebird side definitely playing for that late game, trying to get that scale up, trying to neutralize that Anivia in the early game, get some picks off on it, snowball Zed, bring that lead to other lanes, win through late game fights. Whereas out here on the Bruins, it looks like they're trying to control objectives. A ton of area control here with the Lux and the Anivia picked. A ton of poke with the Ezreal. It's going to be very hard for the Firebirds to walk through those choke points. The Volibear is going to be a huge component of this game. How he plays the early game is going to be massive to how this game plays out. As if he isn't effective early game and Fiddlesticks starts getting rolling, it's going to be very tough.
100%. And you are going to have a pretty fair spread out field on GFU. Have really great late game. They're going to have some pretty good early game pressure with that Lux down in that bot lane. Really just used to poke people out of lane. So we're going to see if she's going to be able to do that effectively against Lulu and Zaya. Lulu not having a whole lot of safety down in the bot lane if she's not able to land good shielding on her ally. And then we are looking at that great mid game. Anivia going to start coming out mid to late game. You're going to see Volibear that's going to start scaling up at that mid lane, trying to become a problem once he gets 1 or 2 items. We're going to see how are they going to play now going into this game. Are they going to be able to what their game plan is? Are they going to mainly look for team fights, or are they going to try and go for more split pushing, and how they are going to attack the Firebirds going into this?
Looking at the top side of the Bruins here, I'd definitely be looking for Mordekaiser to get ahead. We need that Mordekaiser ahead to be able to transfer that lead. If you just let Cho'Gath sit there and lane and farm, it's going to get tough for them to walk in. Although, once again, very good at poking, this Bruins roster is.
We are going to have to see, going into this game, is comms. Comms, big important thing going into collegiate League of Legends. A lot of mistakes can be made. A lot of team fights can be kind of botched going into the mid game. We are going to see what the transition as well is going to be from laning phase to the mid to late game. If our team fight's going to be going in very smoothly, are you going to be able to communicate on where the jungler is at all times, just to set up ganks, set up dives, and then play safe in lanes? Again, both junglers are going to be waiting a little bit of time just to try and farm up until maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe even level 6 in the case of Fiddlesticks. Are they going to be able to look and see how they are going to communicate here going forward?
So definitely for the Volibear, good scaling on the Volibear, but you're going to look for a lot of aggressive plays, a lot of good diving for that level 6, obviously shutting down turrets.
Yes, and just to try and get that spectator 3-minute delay, we will take a 2-minute break, and we will catch you at the beginning of the second game.
See your future on the horizon? So do we.
It's really just the greatest college experience I could have asked for.
What really drew me in was having an adventure.
I think something really unique about Carthage is that it constantly pushes you outside of your comfort zone.
At Carthage College, we will push you to dive deep, to channel your curiosity, and excel in your chosen field.
It's been like an individual journey through collaborative effort. And so overall, this has been my college experience, but so many people that I've met have been supportive along the way, and they're all looking out for you. So that's really why it feels like a family.
As you ignite your true potential and start asking the hard questions, you'll find the answers are just the beginning. That's the moment your purpose comes into view.
We are really able to get great one-on-one action with our professors. So you can't hide in your classroom. You're always actively participating.
You'll get recommended for things that you might not have ever been interested in before, and you end up realizing that that might be your passion.
Everyone here is just so nice, so welcoming. It's really easy to make friends here at Carthage. The biggest change was going from student to young business professional.
I love Carthage.
It's definitely the people.
Living on the lake is amazing.
I feel very prepared for my future.
Ended up surpassing my expectations.
Some things you just need to see for yourself. Come take a closer look at Carthage College.
And welcome back. We are starting game 2 of GFU versus Carthage on Summoner's Rift. Going to see how we are going to start this game. Are we going to see any invades? Not a whole lot of follow-up CC as GFU is going to start invading onto that top side. Very safe pick against the Fiddlesticks. You know he's most likely going to be starting that bot side to get that very early clear off. We are going to see if they are going to face check this bush. They are 3 stacking with that Mordekaiser, Volley, and Anivia. And Cho'Gath is just going to walk into that.
Gets the stun. Might have to burn flash, but might get out here.
Gonna burn flash. That is a very important summoner spell. Very worth on the side of GFU. Gonna try and now Volibear gonna try and play for that top side Mordekaiser, trying to get him ahead as we look at Firebirds. Like you said earlier, Fiddlesticks is going to be playing for this bot side. Going to try and get that Xayah Lulu ahead and that Zed. Very big win cons. So we're going to see how are they going to put that into action. How are they going to try and get them ahead? What are they going to use? We see that Firo taking Cleanse. Very big summoner spell. Lux Bind. Anivia Stun. Volibear Stun. Everybody has CC that can be cleansed except for the Ezreal and the Mordekaiser. So you're going to see is he going to use it? Is he going to use it very sparingly in very certain situations, or is he just going to try and get out of anything and anything?
As we've seen a lot with Firo's lanes early game, I think he's going to be playing on the edge. He's going to be trying to get those aggressive trades, trying to get an early advantage. Up top lane, once again, it's just very tough having that summoner spell flat burned so early. As you can see, the Volibear looking for potentially a full clear bot to top to try and get that advantage. Maybe gank at level 4.
We are seeing some early trades going out in that top lane. That is going to be something Mordekaiser is going to be going after very hard, especially because Cho'Gath doesn't have that flash summoner spell available to him right now. He's going to get that early level 2 down up that top lane. That is going to be something that we aren't going to see a whole lot of action going in until level 6 unless Mordekaiser is able to get on top of the Cho'Gath. Right now, Cho'Gath is just going to have to start trying to poke down and trying to farm up. As we see an engage going down on the bot lane, Lux is going to be able to walk out, but not after Ezreal has to use heal there. That is a huge engage as Zed is going to be able to chunk down, and he is going to end. Oh my goodness, it's not even 3 minutes in. Is she going to get out? And that is first blood for Zed down in the middle lane.
It's absolutely massive. Absolutely massive for that Zed. As we said earlier, it's very tough for that Zed to play the late game engages, which is what the Bruins are likely going to be playing for. But with first blood going to the Zed, all of a sudden, this Anivia's laning phase is going to get very, very difficult. 1
kill on Zed. He's going to back, and he's most likely going to be getting a few longswords here. Maybe a longsword and boots, depending on what his back gold is going to be looking like. Has 14 CS. Is already up on the Anivia. There is the longsword, and there is the boots going on the Zed. And that is just going to be massive. Another step into Serrated Dirk. As we all know, Serrated Dirk on Assassins, one-shot item.
Massive
especially huge squishiness early game. Lux, Ezreal, and Anivia, insanely squishy. As if he is able to get something, it'll be very massive. We are going to see a invade on the top side. Volibear, who's going to be able to get there first.
Volibear trying to use that early pressure, that early stun, and a ton of early damage to pressure that Fiddlesticks out of his jungle. Cho'Gath, good rotation, trying to knock them out of his jungle. Also, mid lane rotating him might be a pick here onto the Volibear. Maybe a mistake, but burns flash and manages to get out.
Burns flash gets a lot of those small Krugs into his favor, going to get a little bit more gold, and is going to try and push him, his CS lead a little bit further. It's currently up 4 after that full clear from Fiddlesticks, not working out a whole lot as Volibear just beat him, skipped his Gromp. Now Volibear is going to be able to come back, get that extra CS, and continue his CS lead going in.
100%. A lot less kill pressure from that Volibear, though, without flash. It's a lot harder to close those distances, especially if Carthage looks to get that early vision control. Fiddlesticks doesn't really care too much about this, typically is able to out-clear this Volibear very hard
100%.
And will eventually get that CS lead, so I doubt that'll be a big issue for him. The main things, Volibear, no more flash, got chunked out, will not be able to do as early of a gank again.
100%. And now we're looking at the CS numbers. Carthage leading in all aspects except for that jungle. As we know, support.
Looking for some aggression here, taking a lot of damage. Flashes away. Ezreal looking to follow here, maybe getting a kill. A lot of good peel from that Lulu. Damage coming back onto the Ezreal now. A lot of pressure.
And one auto up, and he gets one! As he can be getting Lux. One more auto, and he gets the double!
Massive. Absolutely massive for Carthage's bot lane. They will look to start snowballing this lead. Big advantage.
Massive.
Big advantage.
2 kills, already Noon Quiver, and Zed almost taking out the Anivia all at the same time. So much action going in, and that is just the first 5 minutes. We still have so much left of this game, and how are they going to be able to transition into that late game?
Very difficult at this point for the Bruins now. This is not at all how they wish for this early game to go. Looking to probably play it safe. Oh, looks like Mordekaiser might be getting something here, and then the knockup from Cho'Gath immediately peeling himself. As I was saying, it's going to be so tough now. They needed that Zed. They needed that Zed and Anivia lane to just be neutralized, for nothing to really happen. And after these 2 kills, this Zed is going to start moving to other lanes, putting bot lane ahead most likely. And it's a tough situation for sure.
100%. We are going to see a little bit of a ganky-wanky going down in the mid lane. A little bit of the mid lane does have a little bit of vision going in, so he is not going to be able to get any picks here, especially on the Zed. Probably could have seen that coming. Just doubles U's out across the wall. Not a whole lot that Volibear can do, especially without flash. But we are going to see 3-1. Going to see another gank on that bot lane. Lux, they are going to have vision, and now they do spot out that Volibear.
Looks like nothing's going to happen here.
Oh, unless they greed a little bit. They're going to greed.
Definitely a big greed there. A lot of Lulu peel, though. Keep in mind, even if he gets under, a lot of shielding and the W still is available.
Ezreal overstaying a little bit. I'm going to have to use...
And gets the kill.
Oh, my God. And that is what we were talking about, the burst of Xayah, especially on these squishier targets early
Zed
game.
looking for an all in here. Gets the execute and gets the ult. Looking like a kill here. Another auto. Gets away. Underestimates his damage, though. Probably was worried about the Volibear moving up, especially through that slow of the Anivia.
100%, but you do have to realize that the Volibear is not going to prioritize early ganking as much as you would probably think. He's going to try and farm, especially once level 6 tower dives. You are going to see left, right, and center can disable those towers for a short time while they do get that dive going off. So we are going to see now this side 3-1 going in, already has Dagger and Noon Quiver. We are going to see now as Mordekaiser does take Cho'Gath into the Delph realm.
And just peels himself away. Looking back to the bot lane, massive 32 CS lead, 2 kill lead.
Cho'Gath still trying to fight.
Still trying to go here.
Is going to be able to get flash, and that is 2 flashes out, while Mordekaiser is going to stay a little bit too long. Now that is in execute range for Cho'Gath. Are we going to be able to see any little a little bit of trickery going on in the top lane? And Zed is going to try and get his way up there. Not a whole lot looking as Mordekaiser does go back under tower. Volibear here trying to get that dragon.
Interesting W there, but does get out just fine.
Volibear is going to be found out by Fiddlesticks. Now, Lux on the early rotation. Now, are they going to be able to find anything on the Dragon Steel? Not a whole lot going on. Lux is just going to just control them off like we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Great control on objectives.
So hard
Lux E is just very intimidating looking at it. Cho'Gath might be overstaying a little bit. He's going to have to speed up on Mordekaiser, and he does have that gap close with the E.
Uh-oh, looks like he's found Fiddlesticks in his own jungle. Doesn't matter though, as the Lulu's going to walk up and he just takes the blast cone right over.
100%. That is going to be a little bit of time wasted for the Volibear. Did get that first dragon, but the stigma around first dragons, not a whole lot going on with first dragons. You can easily just let that go, get the next 4, and then you get 3 of the Soul Drakes if you're able to get 4 in a row after that. We are going to see another gank going on the Volibear.
Looking to instead all in, just complete confidence out of Pawsey guy, and he gets out just fine with that W.
Not going to be enough.
Volibear, maybe he could have played a little better, staying by that last shutdown, knowing that was his only escape.
100%. It's kind of like Yone. If he's able to get that E off, at least looking at Yone, he's just going to come right back to it. Zed, kind of the same thing. He really only has 1 escape if he's able to go in for an all-in, and that's one of 2 clones, his W clone or his ult clone. In that case, you can definitely tell that he was going to go back into his ultimate clone. A little bit of a misplay going from the Volibear that does result in not getting a kill, which would have been huge for the Anivia. Put Zed back. He is already up 17 CS on the Anivia, which early game is massive, especially if Anivia has to scale past the Zed. It's going to kind of buffer that for another few minutes.
Absolutely, good point. But as we were talking about top lane going to be a point of focus, maybe with the Bruins, just no aggression at all. A lot of all-in trades trying to happen, just trying to get an early kill onto that Cho'Gath, but the Cho'Gath just continuing to farm. Still has a big, sizable CS lead with how the lane has been going.
Oh my god, and Anivia getting chunked again as they are just so scared of this
Wow.
Xayah. She is going to chunk the Lux up to quarter HP, and there's not a whole lot the Bruins can do about that.
Just an
she just
immediate
outranges. You know, we were talking about that early game poke. There's just not a whole lot the Lux can do. She walks up, and she just can't do anything as Anivia almost gets chunked again by the Zed. She can't walk up. She has to farm with her Q, and it's just not happening.
It is just getting so hard for her to play. Volibear looking topside for the counter gank, a little preemptive maybe.
And that is
And goes right in.
That is
Now
a
looking,
Fiddlesticks
continuing to
ulti.
fight. Out healing the Fiddlesticks, but ends up Pigarin getting the kill.
And that is going to
Very
be a
good
nice
play.
rotation by the Zed, and they were going to go down 0 for 2 here as Pawsey Guy is going to make the most out of that rotation, getting another kill, and then Pigarian on that Fiddlesticks going to be able to get another kill in return there. That's going to be massive in snowballing. Game is now 6-1, and now we're looking at that gold lead, about a 4.5k gold difference going in the side of the Firebirds. Massive.
Just Goldie continuing to grow. Great pressure being put on the Firebirds. They're playing to their leads very well. Fantastic map awareness by Pawsey Guy to see that gank coming, immediately rotate up, and pick up those 2 kills.
100%. Now that is where we were talking about comms. Communications in this game are key. If you don't know where your mid laner is as an enemy mid laner, that is half the battle. You need to know where your enemy laner is on that specific play. That was a Myths play by the Anivia not being able to get over there. Especially, you need to play safe. You know this Zed is going to try and push in waves and roam. You need to signal to your team where he's possibly going. You saw that team fight going down around Rift Herald. You knew that he was going to get up there, try and get some kills. That's exactly what happened.
Volibear, one thing we were talking about in champs, like a lot of pressure for the tower dive. But one thing you need for tower dives is for pushing waves. If you look at the waves of the Bruins, all of them are shoved in, except for Mordekaiser top, but the Cho'Gath is recalling. There's no play there.
100%. Now we are going to look at another bot lane play going down. We do get
Great
another
ult,
kill.
fantastic
Oh,
ult.
and there we go. And then there's a Lulu ult trying to peel that Volibear off. She is going to have that ult still available to him. Xayah just going to be able to survive the Lulu shielding like we were talking about early laning phase. She is playing it to perfection. She's able to hold her shields on to when she needs it. And Xayah just does so much burst damage. Lux can't walk up. She's already 0-2. She's already down in experience. She only has that stopwatch to try and save her from that immediate burst. And then we look at Ezreal. Look at that CS lead. Xayah, just under about 8 CS a minute now, looking at 105 in a 12-30 game. Ezreal, 47 farm at 12 and a half minutes.
Massive.
That is so far behind. It's almost unplayable for this Ezreal at this point until he's able to see that Lux start roaming and get that solo XP.
As Volibear, you need that early aggression. Keep talking about the jungle, but that's what they needed. They needed that jungle to really walk around and get lanes or get advantages for their lanes. It's just so hard after these solo kills, these 2v2 kills on the bot side. There's Volibear to make anything out of that early pressure.
100%. Now that is going to shift our attention going to the late game. They need to be able to carry this lead going on to the late game, despite the fact that GFU is going to scale. You need to continue your scaling. We all do know Xayah, comfort pick, huge mistake for GFU not to ban that out game 2. But we are going to see that comfort pick, that early death, that 1-for-1, not even phasing him. We already have a 600 gold shutdown bounty on that Xayah as she's 4-1, has Gale Force already, and full boots, and now she has Sheen. That is going to be massive. We are going to see some trades going on into the top lane. This is where Cho'Gath is going to start to shine. He has
walking him
Frostfire
down.
Gauntlet, and he's just going to run him down. Even
Goes
when
into ult.
maybe in ult, you are going to see that. You're going to see the isolated Q damage, and we still have ultimate going down on Cho'Gath, and he just get nommed.
1v1 kill.
Nom like a chicken dinner.
That is not what you're looking for out of your Mordekaiser top lane. Down 41 CS, very similar situation to pretty much every other lane for the Bruins here.
And Xayah just going to get shut down, unfortunately, by the Anivia Q, but that was a very, very important death that Anivia needed to kind of avoid. She is 0-1. We are going to see a lane swap here. Ezreal going into the mid lane against the Zed. Not sure how to feel about that.
Just desperately trying to get some free farm out of that Ezreal. As you talked about before, pretty much impossible to lane now for the Bruins. This 2v2 pressure out of Firo and Pak is just so overwhelming. Switching the Anivia down maybe to clear waves a little bit faster. Ezreal not known for that wave clear.
We are going to also see, we have to keep in mind, if Zed gets that ult onto Ezreal, Ezreal's E cannot go far enough to get that cleanse, to be able to get that Zed ult mark off of him. Zed will TP to him no matter where he is if he's already in that ult.
All
we are
in
going to see
looking
Zed
for
going
on
in.
that Volibear. A ton of damage, the extra health coming through with the ult. It's looking, chilling smite. Now the Mordekaiser walking up, trying to get a kill, but Posey just playing this so well, playing right to his range, knowing exactly his limits.
Oh, and he's going to go for another all-in on the Mordekaiser, knowing that he's 0-2, know that he's weak. Posey guy does know his limits. He knows that he's 2-0, and he has a mythic already, but he has to keep in mind, he's not invincible. He's still an assassin at the end of the day, very squishy. Yes, high mobility, but that does not discount the fact that he can still be locked onto, and he can still just get ran down by really anybody here if he doesn't have W up.
As we talk about so many times, Firebirds playing to their lead so well, just playing so aggressive, trying to push their leads in every lane. How do you think the Bruins are going to come back into this game?
Honestly, it's going to be very hard. You know, we do have, pretty much equal deaths throughout the board. Anivia is still going to be your win con going into that late game, especially with that immense burst damage on this pretty squishy team overall. Ezreal, same thing. Immense scaler. He already has that Essence Reaver. Hasn't gone for the Mythic yet. Most likely going to go Man Immune. As you can see, that Tear of the Goddess at 210 stacks right now. But you do have to realize Lux is not going to be as much of a contender going in as the biggest win condition. Neither is that Mordekaiser. Already super far behind, almost 70 CS down.
Massive.
At 16 minutes. That is huge. Volibear is the only one that's really keeping up in CS, and he's the jungler. That's exactly his job. He needs to be keeping up in CS no matter how many deaths he has.
Yes, and now we were talking about the Fiddlesticks earlier. A lot of talk about the volley, how important it was for him to get those early engages, for him to make that early pressure count. But this Fiddlesticks out here can just sit there and farm. He knows he scales. He just plays that scaling just fine.
100%.
Despite being even, still looking great for this late game for the Firebirds.
100%. We are going to see Volibear trying to get a little invade going down on the bot side. Puck and Pigarian down on defense there. We are going to see a little bit of dancing, a little dance party going down in the bot lane.
Definitely
and Zed is having none of it. None of it.
Absolutely not. Just jockeying for position, looking for what looks like vision here, seeing the ward go down, just trying to really find out what they're trying to do. Shut them down early, because at this point, Bruins can really only play for picks. Try and get that numbers advantage. Try and use that CC that they've got to shut somebody down and get a kill, maybe get them back into the game here.
100%. We are going to be seeing, in these kind of levels of play, as Firo is going to not even be chunked for half of her HP, unless his strongest Ezreal is going to go wide on the Xayah. That's Lux's strongest combo, and didn't even touch him. There was barely a tickle. And that just shows how strong Lulu shields are going into that game. We are going to see Xayah, you can't walk up to her. You saw that Nivi got chunked. Lux got chunked. As we do see what we were talking about earlier, that is going to be both sums down for the Ezreal and just for Zed ult. That's it. Yep. No sums, no flash, no ignite off of that Zed. Only the very low cooldown, might I say, of Zed ult. And that is completely worth. All you have to do, zone that Ezreal off of CS and experience. That's all you need to do. If you can get him back, if you can get him to get off of that wave, that's all good. We do have a 4v2 going down in the bot lane.
Okay, ult coming through early, trying to get that damage reduction, trying to immune off that Volibear, unable to peel the Volibear off of Fyro here. Looking like the Mordekaiser trying to kill the Lulu, trying to get another pick here. Fiddlesticks playing around the fight. Does not have ult, so he's probably going to look back to go to his farm here. Zed, definitely a lot of good poke as well. Matching what we thought would be fantastic poke on the Bruins, just matching with the Zed alone.
100%. And we do see that wasn't the best trade going down for the Firebirds. Not a whole lot going down. Doesn't get anything for these massive shutdown on the Xayah. Putting that Volibear again in the lead on this Fiddlesticks, despite the fact that Fiddlesticks does have a kill up on Volibear. Volibear has a death up on the Fiddlesticks, losing out on a little bit of XP and that respawn timer. Volibear just got that 600 gold shutdown on top of the 300 gold. 900 total gold just for one kill on that Xayah, which they just didn't peel her a whole lot. It was a 3v4 down in the bot lane to begin with, and there was just not a whole lot that the Firebirds can do about that. Lulu, not a whole lot that she can peel off at that point. And then Pigarian just wasn't there in time to try and save him, get that silence off on the Volibear. And so it just ended up on a deep dive going on there, and ended up being worth Volibear in the end, getting that Xayah down. They are going to start looking for this third dragon. Wow,
Looks
I'm
like
behind.
Firebirds have number advantage, though. This might be a mistake flashing the wall, unfortunately. We got the ult coming down by Pawsy Guy, looking to get more, already got 1 kill, looking to extend the 2-man stun by the Anivia, very good, just trying to stop the bleeding at this point, as Firebirds will pick up the Drake.
We are going to see that Pawsy Guy all in was massive. Going down on the Volibear was the correct play. If they don't have any smite, the chances of them getting a good engage and a good steal, very small. You saw that Cho'Gath actually walking down, not using his TP there, was ready for that dragon fight. He knew it was going to start breaking out soon, so he doesn't even need to worry about wasting his TP. If Mordekaiser continues to push this top lane, could just TP back to tower and try and save it. As the 20-minute mark just passed, we are going to see that transition out now fully of laning phase. Mordekaiser are going to be split pushing on that top side, while Cho'Gath and Ezreal are going to be kind of trading down in this mid lane. Bot lane, not a whole lot that Anivia can do solo, as it's a 3-on-1. Firo continuing that CS lead. We're kind of getting about to 70 CS, almost 80 CS lead on the Xayah, which is insane as an ADC. Gold is everything. If you can get items on the enemy ADC, you are going to start bursting. If you can start bursting, more kills, less people on the floor.
Immediately a flash, just knowing how much that Cho'Gath is able to do, how ahead he is. Almost 100 CS up on the Mordekaiser. He's looking for the all-in. It looks like the Volibear is trying to respond, but Pawsy Guy is there as well. Once again, just fantastic awareness.
And no tower down for GFU. There's no tower. Volibear's not going to be able to escape. Just going to be a... Oh my god.
Doesn't even pick up the kill.
That is 2 HP on the Zed.
Well, so well played. Once again, knowing his limits so well, pushing that advantage. Really excellent from that Cho'Gath there as well. From NDR Clyde, just knowing that he's got the pressure, that he's in the driver's seat this game.
Well, and I can tell you, if I were that Zed, I would be pooping my pants if I came out of that fight. He has a pretty decent-sized shutdown after that kill. If Volibear would have gotten another shutdown, that would have put him even farther back into the game, which would have been massive for GFU. Unfortunately, that smidge, one auto attack was the difference in that case, as it seems to be a lot of the time, and they just weren't able to get it. That has to be very upsetting for Volibear and GFU here. Now we look at the score, 2-11, 2 dragons up for Infernal and the Air Drake here. For the side of the Firebirds, we are going to see that is about a 10,000 gold lead. 10,000, massive. As Pawsy Guy is just going to try and chunk. He's going to be caught out of position.
A little bit out here. Going to try to use his Ghost Blade out, but instead deciding to go all in, deciding he has the damage. Gets out with the fantastic Lulu peel. Will Lulu get out though? Fiddle ult coming in as well, trying to get extra damage on that Volibear, trying to get them off of
and that is the power of CC.
Fantastic Ezreal. Great Ezreal pick up that kill, but then you see trading right back as the Xayah. Gale forcing in, immediately blowing up that Ezreal.
And that is the immense power of CC in this game. CC got stunned, got silenced, everything under the sun. Just Volibear couldn't get onto the Zed to finish him, couldn't get onto the Lulu to finish her either. It had to be an Ezreal ult, and which he ended up going down for. Did get a pretty decent shutdown on the Zed, fortunately for him, which does kind of make that trade a little bit worth it, but it was ending up being a 2 for 1 here, just getting the Zed. So, I mean, if you look at it logically, it was pretty worth for GFU getting that nice shutdown on the Ezreal, putting him back into the game. Still 100 CS down in that bot lane. That 1 kill does not make up for that massive gold lead, but it is going to allow them to try and look forward to the late game a little bit more than they could have maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Absolutely. It's just Firebirds playing their comps so well, knowing that they win these team fights, and even if this gold does go to the Volibear, he's not their win condition.
Not at all.
It's going to be so hard for him to play once these other champions get fully online.
As Cho'Gath is going to be caught out, this is a 1v4 situation. Yes, you may be Cho'Gath. Yes, you may be tanky, but there is no running from a Volibear that's chasing you down.
He's got that speed boost, though, and that self-peel. It doesn't even look like the rest of the Firebirds are too worried about it, just trusting their top laner to get out, and it looks like he does.
And that is the massive thing about competitive League of Legends. You can trust your top laners. Usually, you know, if you're playing solo queue, or if you're just playing 1 or 2 people, usually you'll get a 3-man rotation up to try and save him. The team knows that either 1, he was dead, or 2, he was going to be able to make it out with no questions asked. In that case, he is going in, and he's going to go back onto the Volibear, knowing that Zed is going to be there for the rotation. And he's just going to get melted like butter there. Zed so far ahead, and now Cho'Gath, we see that he's 4-0 somehow.
Over 100 CS up on the Mordekaiser. Pawsy Guy just playing the map so well, having such great awareness of what his different laners are doing. and chunking out everyone, pushing that advantage super well, as you need to do with that Zed.
And now we see that this Dragon Timer is going to be up in the next 10 seconds. We are going to see now who's going to rotate. We do have 4 down on that bot side while Mordekaiser's going down to base. Your Volibear's not going to be up for another 10 seconds. This is going to be a free Dragon take as Xayah, you know, notorious for that built-in smite. You're also going to have Fiddlesticks. Come on, he already has a smite of his own, and it's just going to be another dragon, one closer to Dragon Soul, as now the late game is starting to take effect. Mid game is now kind of coming to an end here. Laning phase has been done for about 10 minutes. We are going to see now mid game ending, late game coming in. Not a whole lot looking forward to on the side of GFU. Not a whole lot of good KDAs going in, besides the Ezreal, who's somewhat coming
Holding
in.
on.
2 out of the
Holding
3
on.
kills for that Ezreal, but that
Wayne, Fire just playing so far up, just knowing he's got the damage.
knowing their
just
limits,
no
one
shot.
auto off on the tower, and that's going to be it.
Wow,
As Ezreal,
chunked out by the Ezreal. Where'd that damage come from? Mordekaiser looking to get more, but he just won't be able to get there.
Mana Moon and Essence Reaver as Zed is just going to start catching out that Ezreal.
Ooh, Zed's got a great position here. Gonna be looking for a
Stuck
fight
behind
here.
the Mordekaiser. There's going to be 5 bot lane. We don't see anybody top lane pushing that wave in yet, as Cho'Gath does have TP. Do have to recognize that. Wave's a little bit pushed up down by the Baron pit, but this is an excellent spot for the Firebirds to back off a little bit and go for that Baron. Try and end this game out while you can, while you're still super far ahead. Not saying that they're going to be able to come back from this at this a 3 to 14
It's very
game.
tough. It's very
we are
tough.
looking at a 13,000 gold difference. Cho'Gath just running down the Volibear does have to be careful though.
Looking for
There
some
is
action
4
here.
in
Looking
there.
for the 3v2 here once
but
again.
there's gargoyles.
Just so much damage mitigation. It's very tough at this point.
Gargoyle proc, we did see last week, the Firebirds were facing a Cho'Gath that kind of had the same build here. Got early ahead. Was
Wow,
able to
looks
get
like great
Cho'Gath,
pick.
and
Great
that
pick
is
by
a
those
great
Bruins
pick on the
there.
GFU. You see that Zed was out of position. Mordekaiser E just able to grab him back in, and then he just gets melted. Doesn't matter how behind you are. Lux, Ezreal, and Nivea, they are
So much
just
damage.
so bursty. If you get down, no matter how far ahead you are, Zed will always be super squishy. Now we are going to see the
just
Volibear
comes in
just
and
runs in
smites
and
it.
smites it.
He's looking to get out now, though. He put himself in a little bit of a bad position. As the Bruins now, once you got numbers advantage, you need to find something off of that.
100%.
Absolutely. With such a huge lead by Carthage, it's so difficult for them to get back into the game. They need to make those types of quick decisions. Just right away, okay, we got 4v5, we gotta go in. We got numbers, take Baron. They're taking drag, maybe try to trade Baron, as they might have decided to do earlier. It really feels like the Bruins are trying too hard to fall into Carthage's game plan here. They're trying to play their game. They're not trying to go for those risky plays that might be able to put them ahead.
Yes, they are not able to kind of play for themselves. They, like you just said, they are kind of playing defensively, and they're not thinking for themselves. They're not saying, "Hey, let's try and split push. Hey, let's try and 1-4 or 1-3-1.
Yep.
You know, try and figure something out. You need a game plan. You can't just continue to react to what the Firebirds are doing. And that is something that is going to be a huge issue, as Firo is just nonchalantly just 2v1ing them.
Absolutely. He's just got so much damage at this point. He's so far ahead. 253 CS, 140 CS up on that Ezreal. Too much damage. Mordekaiser needing to flash away from the amount of damage that Carthage is putting out. They might be looking to end here with how far ahead they are with Baron.
Zed is going to be caught out again.
Looks like it's the kill. Staving off the loss here for a little bit longer. It's going to be very tough for Carthage to effectively use that Baron now in a 4v5.
Now, if you were GFU here, are you playing for picks here, or are you trying to try and start split pushing? What is your game plan if you were GFU?
It's so tough. Not a lot of fantastic split pushers on the side of GFU. They played this team comp that they've picked out here. They kind of need to play to go even. And they were unable to do that. It's going to get very tough. Now, I would say try to get those numbers advantages. As I was saying before, put Carthage out of its comfort zone. Try to find some sort of play across the map. If you see jungle out of position, you need a way to get an advantage out of it.
100%. You do see the Cho'Gath and the Xayah, Lulu, Fiddlesticks now. We have 4 top as Zed is just getting out of base, and we are going to see a Fiddlesticks ult going in.
Fiddlesticks, oh, 5-man Fiddlesticks
massive ult. That is going to be Nivea egg down on the bot side. Mordekaiser is still up in his death realm, and he's just going to get melted after.
Completely blown up.
And they just
could be
leave
looking
Nivea.
to end here at the Firebirds losing nothing there.
Nothing.
Engage coming in, but nothing.
And it is a 3-4-0, and that was a 4v5. Zed wasn't even there. Mordekaiser taking Cho'Gath out
Bruins,
of the
this
fight.
is their last stand. They're just trying to hold on at this point. That Lux and Ezreal wave clear, just desperately trying to find a pick onto this Cho'Gath, almost finding it, but he's just too bulky.
And we do
That
have to
Lulu
look
kill
that they
coming
don't have minions here. They need to wait for another minion wave to come in. As Cho'Gath is almost taken down by Ezreal ult. They are going to look for another inhib.
Taking out
Are
the
they
fight.
going to continue this? They're going to go bot lane and they're going to get a third inhib. Now that is the trifecta for
Absolutely,
Carthage Firebirds
absolutely.
coming in, and that is the biggest nightmare for GFU.
Just playing this so well. It's so tough to do something that you got to look for misplays.
And you know what that is?
Carthage, it's just not happening. They're
Of
playing
course.
this really well, not overextending or anything.
And do you know what that is? That is soul point coming down for the Firebirds.
True.
They are just not able to contest. You have that 1,000 damage execute coming down from the Cho'Gath. They don't even need Fiddlesticks, as he's going to join them nevertheless. But there's just nothing that they can do. They are just losing fights left and right. They are just so far behind that there's just not enough for them to do. Just under 17,000 gold
So big.
down.
So big.
There's just nothing that they can do, even if they get all the shutdowns in the world. Just nothing that you can do.
You've got to be looking for that classic solo queue bush cheese at this point. Just desperately try to find some sort of numbers advantage to push out those waves, try to stave off all of those super minions. On the other side, Carthage just looking to straight up end, resetting, getting their final gold, looking for that final fight to end the game.
If I were Carthage here, I would just 5-man mid, ARAM it old style.
Classic.
As we do see Fiddlesticks still farming, trying to pad those stats, as we said.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But, you know, you just need 5-man mid, walk it into their base, and
And
start
they're already
hitting the
looking.
nexus.
They already found Volley Bear. It looks like he's going to get away, but they're just exerting the pressure on the map so well.
100%. And we are just going to see how they are going to end this game. We all know it's inevitable. No inhibs up. They don't even have any towers down there. Just the Nexus tower that is about 3/4 AP. If we look at this lineup,
Looking for that
as we are
final
going to see a
now.
fight going
Big
down.
Lux ult down. Doesn't get much. Firewall immediately trading onto the Mordekaiser. That Colossus just immediately coming out gigantic shield. It looks like they're going to end the game here.
And that is it. Game 2 done in the books.
With the Quadra. With
And-
style.
If only he could get that ace, just not enough to get
Stolen.
it. And that is it. At
Hungarian
31
steals the... Still, very clean game. Fantastic win for those Firebirds.
100%, and that was a much wanted win after
yeah.
tonight. Going into spring break for these nice student athletes, we are going to be going into spring break pretty happy,
On a nice
and
high
that is going to be something that we are going to look forward to as this game does wrap up. We are going to be looking for that post-game interview coming up after the break shortly. We are going to be interviewing Cho'Gath, that top lane.
Played fantastic that
NDXR Clyde coming in, going to be a 2-minute break, and then we will bring back to you with that post-game interview. Alrighty, Carthage, and after that amazing second game, we are coming back with that Cho'Gath from that last game, NDXR Clyde. Welcome to the interview booth.
Hi, thank you. Happy to be here.
Alrighty, and that was a fantastic game. Just kind of stomped that Mordekaiser in lane. Down here we were commentating. We were kind of scared going into that game. Very hard scalers, but you kind of stepped up to the pressure and was able just to pretty much after level 6, you couldn't do anything to you. What was that feeling like?
Basically, I mean, Mordekaiser is usually like my worst matchup, and the original plan was if they locked in Mordekaiser, because that guy's been only playing Mordekaiser, then I was gonna go bot, and then we were gonna have Austin top and Wayne go mid. But then we ended up just sticking with it and going the Cho'Gath pick because Austin had already locked in the AD-Z, so like we needed the AP anyway. So it was a good option to begin with, even if I lost the lane. But I don't know. I just felt like I was doing better with like playing around my wave management and just avoiding ganks.
Absolutely. Yeah, just really, Volleyball not able to do anything early game against anybody. What was the planning like that? How did you try to shut down that Volleyball in that early game, try to keep them from getting a lead?
Basically in that first play when Volleyball ganked and I had to flash, they were kind of like aggressive and just tanking unnecessary tower shots and putting themselves at a disadvantage. And I just kind of like baited them to tower. I didn't really have to do anything.
And, you know, coming out of that last week's game, and then coming into this week's game, you know, you guys have a little bit of a eagerness to win this one, I'll tell you, just to say the least. How was it to be able to cement that early game lead, and then into the mid to late game, you just started running them down at you pretty much no fear, just started running at them.
I mean,
So how was it? How were the comms in that game? How were you guys, you know, handling that?
Oh, it was great. I mean, once bot lane got ahead and Austin was at the point where he could roam, basically me and Austin were just communicating, like covering our waves, and like him rotating top a bunch was really well. And then once we got the Baron, it was pretty much just, I mean, once we won that drag fight, then it was Wayne was like, okay, are we gonna split like 3-1, 4-1? And I was like, I'll just split the top lane and you guys can just siege mid. And then we got the Baron, and then me and Austin went top, and then we basically just kept splitting them up until we sieged their Nexus.
Absolutely. Comms playing a huge factor in this game, clearly. How do you feel about the general matchups just from draft standpoint? Outside of the Cho'Gath, which you already talked about, losing matchup, played fantastic. Other lanes, what were you looking for in draft?
In draft, we were just looking kind of like to balance our AD AP, which ended up not really mattering. I mean, I was expecting the Volleyball to go like the usual like Riftmaker AP build, but ended up going AD anyways.
Yeah.
I expected the Anivia to scale a lot harder, but she ended up not really being that big of a deal.
Absolutely.
But the Lulu was huge. I mean, Wayne on the Zaya was huge. The vision that we had that game, I felt like we did really good. We picked up on their like roaming, and we established vision right away after we picked that up, and I thought we did really well.
100%. And as we were talking about going into draft, you see Firo on Zaya, you see Pagarian on Fiddlesticks, Pawsy Guy on Zed, and you were on your Cho'Gath, all comfort picks going into this game. The only person that was maybe a little bit off-putting was Pac on the Lulu, and she came up to the occasion and showed out. But what is something that you guys saw that you guys did well and want to carry over, and what's something that you guys might want to improve on going into the next game?
Something that we did well would probably be our early game. Like, we were really consistent about calling out and keeping vision of the jungler, because as you saw, that Volleyball was like very active in terms of ganking and stuff. So that was huge in terms of our bot lane survivability and securing their early lead after Firo got that double kill in the bot lane, and then was able to keep snowballing that because we were able to work our resets and communicate when we wanted to come to objectives so that we wouldn't make any mistakes or get caught out or anything like that.
100%. And I do thank you for your time. That was going to be the last question for us. Do appreciate it, sir. Great game. And we will see you guys not next week, but the week after. Hope all these Carthaginians have a fantastic spring break. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks for week 6 of the NECC regular season.
See your future on the horizon? So do we.
It's really just the greatest college experience I could have asked for.
What really drew me in was having an adventure.
I think something really unique about Carthage is that it constantly pushes you outside of your comfort zone.
At Carthage College, we will push you to dive deep, to channel your curiosity, and excel in your chosen field.
It's been been like an individual journey through collaborative effort. And so overall, this has been my college experience, but so many people that I've met have been supportive along the way, and they're all looking out for you. So that's really why it feels like a family.
As you ignite your true potential and start asking the hard questions, you'll find the answers are just the beginning. That's the moment your purpose comes into view.
We are really able to get great one-on-one action with our professors. So you can't hide in your classroom. You're always actively participating.
You'll get recommended for things that you might not have ever been interested in before, and you end up realizing that that might be your passion.
Everyone here is just so nice, so welcoming. It's really easy to make friends here at Carthage. The biggest change was going from student to young business professional.
I love Carthage.
It's definitely the people.
Living on the lake is amazing.
I feel very prepared for my future.
Ended up surpassing my expectations.
Some things you just need to see for yourself. Come take a closer look at Carthage College.